Okay, we're getting into the last stretch of this, and it's the part where we start talking about textures and UV maps and all that fun jazz. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on our garment, and this is the point where you're going to need to decide whether or not you want to have your garment imported as one solid mesh, or you want it into two pieces. If you want it into two pieces, you can just skip this part of. You know what? No, you can't skip this part. You gotta stay and watch it. Okay, so I like to separate it and break it down into two parts because I actually prefer to have a t-shirt and a pair of pants. I don't like moving it into one outfit like this where it's stuck this way. Maybe I want a t-shirt, maybe I want to go topless and just walk around in a pair of pants. So it's better to just separate them. So what you do to separate is you press tab to go into edit mode, and it'll light up like this, which is fun. And you can either press P and separate by materials, which is what these two are on. They're on their own material, so they'll break up that way. And that's if you assigned the material back in Marvelous Designer. If you forgot or didn't or skipped that stage where I told you to assign a texture to these, a material to them, you can. Let me join them back real quick. Ugh, damn body. Alright. There it is. Alright, let's join this back again. Now, say you skipped over that part where I told you to join your, Say you skipped the part where I told you to assign different materials to them by color, and you can't separate your garment by material. What you can do in that instance is press tab, and you can hover your cursor over the garment that you want, and you can press L, and in most cases it will just highlight the parts that are separated, and then you press P and you can separate by selection, and that way you'll have two parts as well. Now, the worst case scenario is if you have your mesh and it's joined together, and when you press L, both parts show up at the same time and it won't separate, and you're like, oh damn, it's stuck. So don't panic, I'll show you how to separate the mesh in that way too. So what you want to do is let's say the mesh is separated, it's together, it's joined, these are two parts. We're going to highlight the mesh and we're going to zoom out over here. Now, you already know which parts of the pants are which. If you don't, you can, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Sorry. Alright, let me move this over on the side. Now, you see down here on our UV window, this window right here, there should be a little box right here. It's like a box with a little arrow next to it. You're going to click that. And it's going to show you your UV mapping, and now your UV map and your 3D thing are synced up as one. If you have a hard time finding out which part of the pattern goes to what part of the 3D mesh, you can just click on a part of the mesh and it will highlight over here on the 2D window. So if we click here on the front, you'll see that vertex data will light up over here on the UV side. So that's one way of doing it. The downside to using this UV sync is that you can't use the L select to select anything onto an island select. So you'll have to use either the C, which is the full circle, to select things, or you'll have to use B, which is the band select, and select on these things. So this is why also when you're working in Marvelous Designer, you kind of want to give yourself a bit of space when you're exporting your UV map so you can select it all properly without having to bump into there. That's why I don't like keeping my maps really tight on each other. I like to give it little space for just set an emergency. So what we want to do is select the bottom part. So I'm just going to press B. Well, I forgot. You gotta press escape. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. So you want to press B. B. I think C is the circle select is still active. I then broke it. Let me see. What in the hell is going wrong? That shouldn't be happening. Alright, I'm so sorry guys, I messed it up. I want to press B. I would like to, but I think I enabled something. Hang on one second, let me fix that. Okay, sorry about that. I accidentally toggled UV sculpt. So at some point when I was tapping on my keyboard, I hit Q and turned on UV sculpt and broke it. So If that happens, make sure that's not enabled. Alright, so we have our live UV selection thing enabled. I want to move this. I want to press B and do the band select, and I would select the pants. And you see the pants are highlighted down there. You can press P at this time and then press separate by selection, and then that will give us a way to separate the pants and the shirt. So yay, solutions. Okay, so now we have our garment set into two parts, and I'm just going to work on the t-shirt and not so much the pants, because I want to speed this along and I don't feel like texturing something twice. So you can just follow, once you do the t-shirt, you can do the same method for the pants. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to select on the t-shirt, and we're going to press tab and go into edit mode, and you see the UV mapping. I always say you want to do the UV work before you export it into Second Life, because let's say you want to I still got that selected. Make sure you turn the UV sync off when you're done. Alright, so let's say you think, okay, this is too small, I want to edit the UVs to make this stuff fit. You can scale it and make it bigger if you want to here, but if you had already exported your t-shirt with the UVs for like when they was down here, then the one you make when they're all big won't line up with the one you exported when it was small. Does that make sense? No? Yeah, okay, sorry. So just long story short, make sure you do your UV editing first before you export in Second Life. That's my word of advice. So what I'm going to do now is bake a texture for us, bake a shadow map so we can edit it in Photoshop. So we're here in edit mode, and we're going to go down to the bottom where it says new, and you're going to create a new image, and we're going to name this t-shirt, and you want to make sure that it's 248 by 248, and hit OK. And once you have a new texture here, we're going to go over to the world panel here, this little world settings. So it's a little globe, and you're going to scroll down and you're going to turn on ambient occlusion, and you're going to scroll down again and you're going to mess with the samples. Now samples, I guess the best way I can describe it is, have you ever seen a shadow texture or something, or mesh, and it's got these little grains in there, kind of like sand or whatever? Those are the sampling, the samples. The higher the number is, the less you'll be able to see those samples, and the lower the number is, the more you'll be able to see it. But the lower the number is, the faster your shadow map will bake out. Some people will just have a fast, quick bake, and they like that grittiness to their stuff, or they'll blur it and edit it out in Photoshop. But some people will also like to have it like, I want it taken care of in the program. So it really is up to you which one you choose. When I was learning how to do this, I was told that 22 is the magic number, and anything higher than that is just a little excessive, but better. A little more. It's like, whatever you choose. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to put it on 10 so I can bake real quick. And once the samples are set, you just go over to the render panel and scroll down until you see bake. Then you change it from full render to ambient occlusion. And I like to put normalized on because it makes it white and it's not so gray. But if you like that gray look, you can turn normalized off. It's really up to you. So I'm just going to turn it on and then hit bake. Oh, it's a fun fact that quads will bake a lot faster than triangles. So if you really care about that kind of bake time or whatever, you can switch your garment or try to make it quad, and they'll bake so much faster. Alright, so that's our shadow map there. It's really dark because that's where that big fold is at. I don't really like those. I try to smooth those out, but I guess I could try and go into scope mode. And oh yeah, I forgot, with these, but for whatever reason, with this tutorial, with this dev kit, the sculpt brushes aren't in here. So you'll have to import them in from another blend file. So if you can just open up another blender and create a new save file anywhere, or you have a blend somewhere, you can grab brushes from there. So I'll show you how to fix that. So let's go up to the top here in sculpt mode and double click on our brushes. No. We're going to go File, Append, and I'm just using, let me try to find something else. I have a bunch of blends here, so I'm just going to grab this cobalt one, and you're going to open up your blend, and you're going to find brush, and you're just going to select all the brushes and then hit Append. So now when you go to use sculpt mode, you'll see you have all the default blender brushes. So I'm going to use smooth and smooth out that big nasty, it's a little nasty, don't you think? I'm going to skip the wrinkle that's there and smooth that out a little more too. So I like wrinkles in my shirt, but I don't like them when they're like really hard and like wrinkle right in your face. Alright, so that's a lot better. Alright, so I may want to rebake that now. And this is what it looks like without normalized on. Oh, I forgot. I have to put the t-shirt back on. Alright, now bake. Fine, damn it. I'll make a new one. New texture. There. Oh, for heaven's sake. No images find to bake. Tab. There we go. Sometimes Blender's just Blender. So let's wait for this to bake. So how you guys coming along with this tutorial? Is it following along? Easy to go with? If you got any comments or suggestions for another class, feel free to mention it in the comments. And if I got the dev kit, then I can make the tutorial. Of course, you could always send me the dev kit. Alright, we're done baking. And you see how without normalize, it's kind of dark. It's not white like it was before. Yeah, that's what happens. And I don't have that harsh dent in there because I smoothed out the bumps. Now, one thing I forgot to say is that you see how the pants are black? If we were to bake the pants texture on this, it will bake black with the shadows and stuff, and you don't want that to happen. So what you want to do is click on your pants, and you want to change the diffuse. Whoops, why is it doing that to the shirt? Oh, down here. You want to click the diffuse, and you want to turn it back up to white. So just turn these all the way up, and that'll give you white. Blender white. So that's what happens, just in case I forgot to say it, which I think I did. And you're baking and your shirt's coming out red, and it should be gray. So now that we have our shirt texture baked out, we are going to save this texture. So you want to click on image and then hit save as, and other tutorial, go back to our project thing. I'm going to name this shirt 1. And I like to push this a couple times and then hit OK. And now we're just going to export. Make that white. We're going to export this and then 3D paint in Photoshop. So we're going to do File, Export, OBJ. We're going to just name this shirt, OBJ. Now make sure you only have selection only. Make sure you have selection only checked, or else you're gonna bring the whole blend file into Photoshop, and that's not good. So once we have that shirt saved, we're gonna hit export to OBJ, and now we're just gonna go over to Photoshop and 3D paint onto it.